I don't know about you, but I'm always fascinated when some revelations come out and you think, is this really truly what went on? Was this the conversation between these two people? It doesn't matter, does it, with its huge political debate, movie stars of yesteryear, people in great power were always fascinated to eavesdrop. And what's happened recently in this slew of new royal books, we're believed, apparently being told to believe at least, that these particular conversations went on, apparently in supreme privacy. Nobody else was there, but then it's been leaked. The picture. This particular story really centers upon the fact that we're supposed to believe this bombshell revelation regarding Meghan Markle and our late and wonderful monarch. As ever, let me explain. Hi, good morning. Neil Sean here in the very heart of London. Another chilly start today. I hope you're all keeping well. And thank you also for your kind comments about the new theatre at Victoria Station. I know I love reading your comments about that because I still think there's a place for those today. I mean, they served a pot of tea. You could have tea and toast and jam and scones. And also, it was somewhere to shelter, wasn't it? Why be just stuck on a wet and windy platform, At least be entertained. But can you imagine now? You'd have to scan. You'd have to scan to sit down. You'd have to scan for your pot of tea. You'd never. By the time you've done all that, the train would have gone. It's the digital world we live in, isn't it? That is precisely the problem that we have now, of course. We're led to believe that all of these conversations between, as I say, people in power, well, we're supposed to believe them. This really all centres upon a brand new royal book detailing the life and times of our wonderful late monarch, Her Majesty the Queen, 70 years on the throne, surpassed everybody, really never put a foot wrong, in my opinion. Truly greatly missed, and none more so when we're coming up to the festive season. As I've told you before, I always look forward to her Christmas Day speech. It was enlightening, invigorating, and inspiring. But this particular story really all centres upon the fact that when Meghan Markle originally arrived into the British monarchy, as you can imagine, there was great fanfare. In fact, all the media described her as Hollywood, a Hollywood star, Hollywood glitter, dust, all of that sort of stuff. When in reality, Meghan had appeared in a handful of films, in cameos, a couple of TV series, and the biggest claim to fame, of course, was the cable TV show Suits. Now, I'm not knocking it as someone who's been in show business. It's tough. But by the time she'd reached that age, the leading roles, the Cameron Diaz roles, the Jennifer Aniston roles were well and truly over. Nobody was going to come knocking saying, let's put you in the big screen and make you the star billing. It wouldn't have happened. So this really, the marriage, falling in love, whatever you want to call it, came at the right time for Meghan Markle, as you can imagine. Put her on the world stage, made her important, and more importantly, people knew finally who she was. But apparently, according to a very good source, and in this new royal book, Her Majesty the Queen, in having a chat with Meghan, suggested this. It appears that Meghan obviously couldn't decide what she wanted to do. Was she going to give up the life of glitz, glamour, red carpets, writing a vlog, the TIG, or whatever you want to call it, and surpass it all to become a working member of the royal family? As she detailed in that Oprah Winfrey interview, she didn't know what working member of the royal family meant. But this book claims that Her Majesty the Queen said, well, of course, you must carry on with your role. It's your profession after all. Let me tell you, no one recalls this particular conversation. No one would suggest that Her Majesty the Queen thought this would be a good idea. I mean, how could Meghan have possibly continued in such a role? What sort of roles could she have taken? Would it have been detrimental to the British monarchy? It didn't matter what she did, they were going to be picked apart. So it was simply an inexplicable idea that she could have moved forward and said, yes, I'll take on these roles, which were now going to be offered, of course, by these studios because of the royal connection. Now, this book, as I say, is plundering on with these revelations, which apparently are all because they're a close royal aide. According to my good source, and as ever, we have to say allegedly, this conversation never took place. Her Majesty the Queen was not keen on the idea in any shape or form that Meghan should, of course, carry on working as an actress. And as Meghan openly said herself, she was quite prepared to leave that life behind and make a life of service and dedication, however short that was, of course. So as ever, you decide what you think to this particular revelation. Do you think it happened? Was it something, a figment of someone's imagination? Or in fact, did we not know our late and wonderful monarch as well as we thought? As ever, I know my thoughts. I'd love to know yours. Neil Sean in the very heart of London.